Welcome, welcome, welcome to the MasterMind Library, the home of the MasterMind Book Club. I'm Ferdinand, the bringer of balance, leader of many disciplines, and your host. And we are reading from the Enuma Elish, the Epic of Creation. And we're going to go ahead and dive right in. We're going to head on right over to Tablet 2, and we're going to go ahead and see what it's got to say. We touched on Tablet 1 yesterday. And some of the key figures in that in Tablet 1 were Kinga, Tiamat, Habsu, and others. We're going to see what Tablet 2 has to say. So let's go ahead and scroll to Tablet 2, and let's get it started. And for everybody who is listening, I thank y'all so much for coming and checking out the MasterMind Library, where you can find absolute truth. Please like, share, comment. Please subscribe. We're live on LinkedIn. We're live on YouTube. We're live on Facebook. We're live on Instagram. Support us, please. Share these children with your coworkers, with your friends, with your family. These videos are made for the upliftment of fallen humanity. All right, Tablet 2. All right, Tablet 2. Tiamat assembled his creatures and collected battle units against the gods, his offspring. Tiamat did even more evil for posterity than Abzu. It was reported to Ea that she had prepared for war. Ea listened to that report and was dumbfounded and sat in silence. When he had pondered and his fury subsided, he made his way to Anshar, his father, came before Anshar, the father who begot him, and began to repeat to him everything that Tiamat had planned. Father, Tiamat, who bore us, is rejecting us. She has convened an assembly and is raging out of control. The gods have turned to her, all of them. Even those whom you begot have gone over to her side, have crowded round and rallied beside Tiamat. Fierce, scheming, restlessly night and day, working up to war, growling and raging, they have convened a council and created conflict. Mother Huber, who fashions all things, contributed an unfaceable weapon. She bore giant snakes, sharp of tooth and unsparing of fang. She filled their bodies with venom instead of blood. She cloaked ferocious dragons with fearsome rays and made them bear mantles of radiance, made them godlike, chanting imprecations. Whoever looks upon them shall collapse in utter terror. Their bodies shall rear up continually and never turn away. She stationed a horned serpent, a Mushusu dragon, and a Lamu Heru, an Ugala demon, a rabbit dog, and a scorpion man, aggressive Umu demons, a fish man and a bull man, bearing merciless weapons, fearless in battle. Her orders were so powerful they could not be disobeyed. In addition, she created 11 more likewise. Over the gods, her offspring, who had convened a council for her. She promoted Kingu, made him greatest among them, conferred upon him leadership of the army, command of the assembly, raising the weapon to signal engagement, to rise up for combat, overall command of the whole battle force. And she set him up on a throne. I have cast a spell for you and made you greatest in the gods' assembly. I have put into your power rule over all the gods. You shall be the greatest, for you are my only lover. Your commands shall always prevail over all the Anuki. She gave him the tablet of destinies and made him clasp it to his breast. Your utterance shall never be altered. Your word shall be law. When Kingu was promoted and received the Anu power, and had decreed destinies for the gods, her sons, he said, what issues forth from your mouth shall quench fire. Your accumulated venom shall paralyze the powerful. Anshar listened, and the report was very disturbing. Whoa, he cried. He bit his lip. His liver was inflamed. His belly would not rest. His roar to Ea, his son, was quite weak. My son, my son, you know who started the fight. You remain responsible for what you have done. You went and slew Abzu and Tiamat, whom you enraged. Where else is an opponent? Where else is an opponent for her? Despairing of advice, the prince of good sense, creator of divine wisdom, Nutamud, with soothing speech, words of appeasement, he answered Anshar, his father, nicely. Father, you are the unfathomable fixer of fates. The power to create and to destroy is yours. O Anshar, you are the unfathomable fixer of fates. The power to create and destroy is yours. For the moment, stay quiet at the words I shall tell you. Bear in mind what a good thing I did before I slew Abzu. Who else could he look to? Now there are these monsters. Before I can rush up and extinguish him, he will surely have destroyed me. Then what? Anshar listened, and the speech pleased him. His heart prompted him to speak to Ea. My son, your deeds were highly commendable. You can make a strike fierce, unbeatable. Ea, your deeds were highly commendable. You can make a strike fierce, unbeatable. But go towards Tiamat, soothe her uprising. May her fury abate at your spell. He listened to the words of his father Anshar. He took the road, went straight on his way. Ea went, he searched for Tiamat's strategy, but then stayed silent and turned back. He entered into the presence of the ruler Anshar. In supplication, he addressed him. My father, Tiamat's actions were too much for me. I searched for her course, but my spell was not equal to her. Her strength is mighty. She is completely terrifying. Her crowd is too powerful. Nobody could defy her. Her noise never lessens. It was too loud for me. I feared her shout, and I turned back. But father, you must not relax. You must send someone else to her. However strong a woman's strength, it is not equal to a man's. You must disband her regiments, confuse her advice before she can impose her power on us. For the rest of this episode, see supplement 4, page 342. Anshar was speechless and stared at the ground. He gnashed his teeth and shook his head at Ea. Now the Ijiji assembled, all the Anuki. They sat silently, tight-lipped. Will no other god come forward? Is fate fixed? Will no one go out to face Tiamat? Then Ea, from his secret dwelling, called the perfect one of Anshar, father of the great gods, whose heart is perfect like a fellow citizen or countryman, the mighty heir who was to be his father's champion, who rushes fearlessly into battle, Marduk the hero. He told him the innermost design, saying, "O Marduk, take my advice. Listen to your father. You are the son who sets his heart at rest. Approach Anshar, drawing near to him, and make your voice heard. Stand your ground. He will be calmed by the sight of you." The Lord rejoiced at the word of his father, and he approached and stood before Anshar. Anshar looked at him, and his heart was filled with joy. He kissed him on the lips, put away his trepidation. Then Marduk addressed him, saying, "Father, don't stay so silent. Open your lips. Let me go, and let me fulfill your heart's desire. Anshar, don't stay so silent. Open your lips. Let me go, and let me fulfill your heart's desire." Anshar replied, "What kind of man has ordered you out to his war? My son, don't you realize that it is Tiamat? of womankind who will advance against you with arms? Marduk answered, Father, my creator, rejoice and be glad. You shall soon set your foot upon the neck of Tiamat. Anshar, my creator, rejoice and be glad. You shall soon set your foot upon the neck of Tiamat. Anshar replied, Then go, son, knowing all wisdom, quell Tiamat with your pure spell. Set forth immediately the storm chariot. Let its blank be not driven out, but turn them back. The Lord rejoiced at the word of his father. His heart was glad, and he addressed his father, Lord of the gods, fate of the great gods, if indeed I am to be your champion, if I am to defeat Tiamat and save your lives, convene the council, name a special fate, sit joyfully together in Ubshu Ukinaka. My own utterance shall fix fate instead of you. Whatever I create shall never be altered. The decree of my lips shall never be revoked, never changed. Anshar made his voice heard. Second tablet. When skies above, written according to, and a copy of Asur. And that completes tablet 2. This is a very, very special book here. Very, very special Mesopotamian clay tablet that is translated for us. This is the epic of creation, the Enuma Elish. I highly recommend everybody out there take the time to read this material. In addition to reading these other clay tablets, as I have on episode 17, the first tablet of the Enuma Elish, I said that there was multiple other tablets that we need to touch on, and we do. The Epic of Gilgamesh, the Adapa, the Atrahasis Epic. There is a history that is long past us that we need to learn about, because that history helps us to understand all these other versions of history that have been put out. His story that was put out. But how we discern properly is by knowing thyself, trusting thyself, having courage in thyself, and taking these books, these doctrines, and using them for confirmation. 95% of the information is supposed to come from this. It's supposed to come from the Akash. It's within you. It's supposed to come from the Akashic records. You're supposed to read the book of life. And after you read the book of life, so that could be like 95% of the knowledge that you attain. Then you go to the books, and the other 5% is confirmation of the material that's in the books. But you got to first be able to discern absolute truth. That is what we're going to be focused on in the MasterMind Library. Y'all be blessed. I'll be back tomorrow, 8 a.m. for Tablet 3.